On August 14, 2000, a United Airlines flight from San Francisco Airport crashed after a failed crosswind takeoff. Crosswind takeoffs are a high-risk maneuver, and the statistics reflect this. According to the International Air Transport Association, crosswind landings and takeoffs are a leading cause of aircraft accidents, resulting in 30% of all aviation accidents. Furthermore, crosswind takeoffs are more challenging for pilots than crosswind landings, with a 45% failure rate reported in a study of commercial aircraft accidents. These numbers underscore the need for pilots to develop and practice skills in crosswind conditions to prevent disasters like the one that occurred at SFO on August 14, 2000. On August 14, 2000, United Airlines Flight 1604, an Airbus A320 bound for Los Angeles, attempted a crosswind takeoff from San Francisco International Airport. The plane, carrying 68 passengers and 4 crew members, veered off the runway and crashed through a perimeter fence before coming to a stop. Miraculously, there were no fatalities, but 25 people were injured. The National Transportation Safety Board (NTSB) investigation revealed that the probable cause of the accident was the captain's decision to take off into a strong crosswind without obtaining a proper clearance, and the failure of air traffic control to communicate this critical information to the crew. The investigation also found that the crew did not properly configure the aircraft for the crosswind conditions, and the plane's rudder was overpowered by the wind, leading to the loss of control. Furthermore, the investigation identified a series of systemic failures that contributed to the accident, including inadequate training for pilots and a lack of standardized procedures for handling crosswind takeoffs. The NTSB's findings provided a stark reminder of the importance of following established protocols and communicating effectively with air traffic control in high-risk situations like crosswind takeoffs. To prevent crosswind takeoff disasters, the Aviation Safety Reporting System and the National Transportation Safety Board have identified several key takeaways from the investigation of United Airlines Flight 1604. Firstly, pilots need to be aware of the airport's crosswind limitations and adhere to the published crosswind component values. Secondly, proper aircraft alignment and control are critical during crosswind takeoffs. This involves configuring the aircraft for crosswind, aligning the aircraft with the runway centerline, and using the correct rudder inputs to maintain directional control. Additionally, better communication between air traffic control and pilots can help prevent crosswind takeoff disasters. This includes providing pilots with accurate wind information and clear instructions on crosswind takeoff procedures. Furthermore, ongoing training and education for pilots can also help reduce the risk of crosswind takeoff failures. This includes simulator training, briefing materials, and recurrent training on crosswind takeoff procedures. The implementation of these measures can be achieved through changes in pilot training programs, airport procedures, and regulatory requirements. By learning from the United Airlines Flight 1604 disaster, we can improve crosswind takeoff safety and prevent similar disasters from occurring in the future. 1. Pilots learn from the disaster of Flight 1604. On May 11, 2001, a commercial airline experienced a harrowing crosswind takeoff at San Francisco Airport, but this time it was with an instructor pilot in the left seat. The crew, led by instructor Captain Jeff Skiles, had a unique situation. Skiles was flying the aircraft with a student pilot in the right seat. As they encountered strong crosswinds on takeoff, Captain Skiles used a technique that has since become a standard procedure for pilots to manage crosswind landings. He aligned the aircraft with the crosswind component at a 45-degree angle to the runway. By using rudder and aileron simultaneously, the aircraft remained stable and on course, successfully completing the takeoff. This experience serves as an example for pilots to learn from the disaster of United Airlines Flight 1604. By adapting and practicing crosswind takeoff procedures, pilots can reduce the risk of a disaster like this occurring in the future. As we'll see in the next section, the lessons learned from this incident can inform safe crosswind takeoff practices for all pilots. In conclusion, the crosswind takeoff disaster at San Francisco Airport underscores the importance of adhering to aircraft performance limitations when dealing with strong crosswinds. The incident serves as a stark reminder that failure to do so can have devastating consequences for pilots and passengers alike, highlighting the urgent need for pilots to exercise caution and prudence when taking off in challenging weather conditions. Remember, always prioritize safety over schedule.